all the breaths are the same.
Good.
And the breath get attracted when you have the consciousness, wherever there is consciousness. Or something like that. I felt my breath is the same is what I felt.
Yeah, you can watch that breath in from you. How you can do it? That practice is from ant to you, or even lower animals than ant. Let's say centipede, millipede, or even bacteria level. They also breathe. And you can come to cell level. Cell are breathing, right?
Yeah, correct.
So you can start with cells. Then what you can do is everybody's cell, you can just see it like ocean of cells where there is no differentiation except for the color. So let's say white blood cells and red blood cells and all that. But it's eventually only cells.
Correct.
If you leave the color aside, it's only cell. So then in that ocean of cells, which one do you consider as yours?
Yep.
So you will start seeing it like an ocean. And that, let us say there was a moon above, and in a moonlit night, how would a sea be, right? So it will be shining. Water will be shining, and those shining things, you can consider it as cells. And you will have a tremendous experience actually.
Okay, let me try that next time. Yeah.
And that is another beautiful way of doing it.
Yeah, I went through all that, the small organisms to big organism, but I didn't come to the cell. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, we are made out of cells only, nothing else. Okay, so let's start our discussion on Ashwatha.
Yes.
So that was the thing we wanted to talk. So did you go through on that chapter, but 15th chapter?
Yes. I have gone through that. I have read all the shloka and then try to understand. Now I would like to listen from you.
No, you tell me what you have understood and then I will tell you.
Okay, at high level, what I have understood is that it says Urdhva Mula Madashyaka Mashwatham Prahuravyayam Chandamsi Yasya Parnani Yasta Veda Sa Vedavit, which means it talks about Urdhva Mula. Urdhva means we always look at which is coming some ajna from the top. The top is nothing but here Bhagavanta, means the consciousness. From there, everything is there. And then you have in that so much of branches, and again from branch, there are bilalu, it is coming down. So that is what, in our samsara, many things are happening. With that, we always keep doing new karmas and keep coming. And this Ashwatha, yesterday you told that one, which means it's a sthira, or we do not know, because it is like samsara. Continuity is there till now, and it is also going to continue, samsara. And we are a part of that. That Adi and Antya is unknown here in this case. So Ashwatha is also, our belief is that it will be there for 3, 4, 5 generations, and it has got a long history. So the bilalu, what is coming from, and that chiguru, that ele or these leaves, they are all like Veda jnanas. So all those things, so it will make you to keep doing karma again and again. It says, don't attach to that, and those karmas, you stop it, and you be there like a Ashwatha, which is coming from the top, and you go and yourself be that and forget all other things. That is the reason it says that Urdhva Madashakaha. So you leave everything and be a part of that consciousness, that Paramatma, great Brahman. And without Brahman, nothing happens. That is also true. Energy everywhere. And I think further he explains in that Purushottama Yoga wrote, everywhere, because of that energy, you can see something happening. Something is moving, something is happening around. So ultimate aim is you yourself realize that you are that Paramatma, that Brahman, and you be there. And example given is Ashwatthama, beginning.
Good. Good explanation.
But I have not covered. I have gone through that once. But I wanted to again do some Nidhyasana to understand. I think this is very, very interesting. You made me yesterday to go through that. I have stopped all other my chanting of other Veda part. Morning I was doing this. And it was very, very interesting. Now I want to change my life morning hours to spend one adhyaya like every day, a meaning in a puja room, so that I'll be in a position to understand the meaning.
Right. So you have already said, so there is no point in saying the same thing, but there is root above and root below. Sorry, above and branches below. It actually should have been root below and branches above. But here it is ulta.
Yeah.
Urdhva moolam adashakam. So with roots above and branches below. Ashwatam prahu avyayam. So this is indestructible. This tree cannot be destroyed at any point in time. Chandamsi yasya parnani. So chandamsi can be used in two ways, as an example and as well as leaves. So it gives you knowledge of everything. Each leaves will give you the knowledge. Yam yaha tam veda saha vedavit. He who knows this knows everything. Okay, so let's break it down and see in real what is happening. So number one, there are two things here. One is gross and subtle. Gross impressions are the roots. Subtle impressions are the ones which take you to the next destination, so continuity. So Ashwatha means that which does not have existence, meaning it will always exist, or that which will not be there as tomorrow. It will always be there. You will always have tomorrow. So when we really see our life, we always say that tomorrow I will do this, next month I will do that, and like that. So that is the meaning of Ashwatha, as the root on top and branches below. We see it inverted. And this inverted image is called as samsara. Sara is essence and sam is essence relating to raga, dvesha, moha. So basically, in essence, we want raga, dvesha, moha. And that creates continuity. So past, present, future, if we were to consider these three, and desha and kala, space and time constructs, then it should have continuity. And continuity is not possible if there is no tomorrow. So the Ashwatha will give both liberation and continuity, meaning it will give both bondage and liberation. So we need to understand what each one of these will do to us if we don't cut it with an axe, which is what he is going to cover up next. So this Bodhi tree, in Buddhism it is called as Bodhi tree, and it is people tree or Ashwatha. So why did Buddha sit under this is to understand the complete samsara of all the three worlds. And that is the reason in Buddhism this Bodhi tree is revered as such a sacred tree, because it is samsara vriksha, where you can understand the entire samsara of all the worlds, all the existences. That is 7 lokas as per Hindu. That is Bhu, Bhuva, Suvaha, Mahajanaha, Tapaha, Satya. So all these 7 lokas. 7 above and 7 below.
This Ashwatha and Bodhi both are same?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
The same leaf.
Okay.
It's called Bodhi Vriksha. And do you know why it is called as Bodhi? Any one of you know that reason why it is called Bodhi?
I don't know.
Okay. Bodhi means knowledge, and knowledge of the Four Noble Truths is what Bodhi is all about. So, knowledge on.
Its root is buddhi, no?
Yes, its root is Buddhi, yeah, and that is knowledge, and knowledge of Four Noble Truths is Bodhi. Okay, so Ashwatha is moving, but it can be made as Swatha. Shwatha, we can make it as Swatha means not to move. And Ashwa is also for horse, and one who can tie the horse to that tree. It will not make the horse move. So if now we have to understand each part of this tree, Mula is the root, which is pure consciousness, which should be below, but it becomes above, meaning to say that the superficial existence is treated as real existence. So that viparyaya, like in the case of Patanjali, he uses a word called viparyaya, pramana viparyaya, vikalpa nidra smritayaha. In these five vrittis, he says, viparyayo mithya jnanam atadrupam swarupam. That means viparyaya means we can take it as hallucination or misunderstanding or wrong understanding, whatever we want to call that as in English. Mithya jnanam means mithya is wrong, jnanam means knowledge about what is not as what it is. Let's say the role is considered as real. Husband role is considered by that person as real. And he starts feeling that he is the husband because he's been told that you are an husband. And he takes it literal sense. Just like an employee in an organization is called as manager, and he literally feels wherever he goes is a manager, or somebody has become a vice president and that person feels that he is vice president, or somebody has got a Nobel Prize and then he starts believing that he is something of Nobel Prize, or he has done a PhD, or she has done something else, or whatever it is. This is called viparyaya. What is not true is considered as true and established likewise. So viparyayo mithya jnanam atadrupam pratishtham. That is, it establishes as that. So now I have this samsara. It's actually not there. But I have now the samsara, which says that you have a father, you have a mother, you have brother, you have sister, then you have in-laws, then you have a husband or a wife, and you have a child, and you have a home, and you have bank balance and job to do, and all of that. You have a car, you own a land, and complete paraphernalia of everything is viparyaya. So one who understands this viparyaya is released. But it's not easy. So the hallucination has to be there. So Ashwatha is continuance with this madness that one day I will meet the husband, and one day I will meet the wife, and then I will meet my son or daughter and all that. Never in his or her lifetime that person will be able to meet something or someone called as husband. Never. Nor he will get that wife, nor the daughter, nor the son, nor the parent, nor anything. He or she will never get, because it is just a reflection. It's just a name. There is no form in that. And because the root is in this wrong, the mula is gone. That is, the consciousness is now working as what we can say wrong consciousness or defiled consciousness or spread out consciousness or whatever it is. So the mula. Bija is the seed, and the seed here is the ignorance, which is caused due to desires. So avidya and kama are the seed. Ankura is the sprout. That is the mind. With the Hiranyagarbha itself, that is the mind, Ankura. Then you have the trunk and the branches, the Darpa. This is where the intellect and other subtle body parts can be seen. So this is Sukshma Sharira. And Pravala Ankura are the tender buds, which are 5 sense objects. And the 6th sense object is the thoughts. So this is called as Vishaya. Leaves are the Parna and Palasa, which is the learning and logic and the knowledge. What one gains in Laukika. That is, starts with the Kannada or Tamil or the language, and then you have English or whatever you're learning. Then you start with the pre-nursery and nursery and all that, whatever we do till we do masters and beyond or whatever it is there. Whatever is available in this market to learn is the leaves. Each leaf is knowledge, and that's the reason Krishna calls it as the Veda. Supushpa is the flowers, and Dupushpa is what is decaying. So Su means good and Du means bad. So you have the good deeds being done, and also people do bad deeds. Good deeds like sacrifice, that is yajna, charity, dana, austerity, tapas, swadhyaya, and all that is good deeds. And these are called supushpa. Or they can grow weeds, and that can also happen. And there is destruction of that, and they both coexist. And then it has taste. Good flowers give fragrance, and the decay gives bad odor. So you'll have happiness and sorrow, which is sukha and dukkha. So it's aneka rasa, aneka phala. Phala means fruits, so you get mixed bag of good and bad. Okay. And here, in this numerous fruits, when we look into it, it will subsist, meaning to say that it sustains life. So Ashwatha Mara will, or the Vriksha will maintain the life. And Baddha Mula is the secondary roots, which is nothing but desires, which is caused by craving. So without craving, there can't be any existence. So you should require the desires, secondary desires, apart from kama to exist. So kama exists with krodha. Kama krodha will bring its friend lobha, and lobha will then get moha, then mada, matsarya. So all these will then go together. Then you require the nest, which is Nida, that is the 7 worlds, Saptaloka. So 7 upper and 7 below. Okay, so person can go into Patala, or he can even go into Brahmaloka. So then you get Bhuta and Pakshi, that birds and living beings. So you have all living beings from Brahma to the hell realm of existence. And they all will have sound, and the original sound is Om Pranava, but it gets distorted into languages. So you will have different tunes of Om coming from different mouths. So Prani Loka will have their own way of expressing, Manusha Loka will have their own way of expressing, Deva Loka will have their own way of expressing, the hell realm of existence have their own way of existence. So it is called Ravo, that is crying. So if the child is coming out, it will cry. So and all animals will cry, including the egged animals or egged beings and which are coming out of womb. They all will cry. But the foolishness is such that they will start dancing after they come out. If you have seen a child, after few minutes it will forget the cry and it will start enjoying its life. Okay, and it's singing. Then there is music. So people get attached to music. So this is called Gandharva Loka. So people who have come from Gandharva will start playing music, and they all called as child prodigies. So they will shine and they become good singers, or they use their instrument or whatever it is. Then there are clapping of hands, then there is laughing, then there is giggling, then there is sexual intercourse as enjoyment. So that's a maximum harsha anything can provide. So this is harsha. So each leaf is able to produce this harsha. So all that we are doing in this world as animals or insects or humans, except for the devas, is to enjoy sexual activity. And that is how samsara gets formed. If you see, we are spending huge amount of money in marriages, buying gold and silver and spending on arrangement, and how the bride is decked up with different kind of dresses, and how the bridal makeup is being done and all that, which is a very clear indication of sensuality. So I don't require to explain that, and that directly will come into hell realm of existence. So you have inferior branches called avakshaka, which will take you to either hell or to heaven, and takes different forms as ghost and beast. So you have a swarga, naraka, and triyak yoni is those which will, all the animals and insects will have their back turned towards sun. So we are having straight, that means either we had lesser amount of raga, dvesha, moha in our past life, and we have a fixed spine, so you can stand erect. And those beings who could not have a good raga, dvesha, moha not being there, so they got into triyak yoni. That means they will turn their back towards sun. So all animals who and birds and all these which have their back towards the sun will not get human birth easily. So that is impossible. It is like finding a small pin in an ocean. That much is the effort. So this big samsara can only be removed through vairagya. So asanga shastrena, that is what he talks about later, that only through asanga shastra that this big people tree can be cut, which is moksha. So this is the meaning of Ashwatha. And second shloka of that, if I were to take it, it is Adakcha Urdhvam Prashishta Tasya Shakaha Guna Praviddaha Vishaya Pravalaha Adaha Cha Mulani Anusantatani Karmanubandhini Manushya Loke. So the below and above spread its branches consist of the gunas which nourish the bud of sense objects. So 5 senses keeps on taking the objects as though the watering is happening on that, and below it stretch forth to the roots, originating the action, and the world is created. Now you have created what is called as loka. Loka consisting of me and mine. So it is I and mine. So I will have myself, and when I bring something to me, near me, so in human world we have created a transaction called as money. Okay, and that is supposed to be accepted as true. So even though the note says that I promise to pay, like a promissory note, but you still call it as money, which is idiotic. There is no money there. It says I promise to pay the bearer of this instrument rupees 100 or whatever is written there, and signed by some idiot. And then you are saying that it is true. And collection of those numbers are treated as real asset. So then the world is created. Okay. So this is how idiotic things work in the world. Now you take the same paper, printed one, and you go to a store, a golden, let us say golden ornaments, and you go to a jewelry shop, and you give this number, and that person will give a quantity of rock, basically, which destroys by itself, and it is color if gold, meaning it is shining, glistering, and all that. And the person foolishly calls it as suvarna. Varna is color, su is good color, but he names it as gold. Okay, so now the world of gold is created. The more you collect, the better it is. Then you collect laurels and certificates and merit and all that. So now this karmanubandhini manushya loke is completely created, meaning you cannot get rid of it. No matter how much one tries to get rid of it, that person can never get rid of it, because the gunas will keep on nourishing this tree. Then the third one is na rupamasya iha tataha upalabhyate na antaha na cha adihi na cha sampratishtha. So its form cannot be perceived as such. Nobody can perceive this huge tree. Each leaf represents knowledge. So you cannot perceive the size of this tree, nor its end, nor its origin, or the resting place. So nobody can rest under a people tree unless he understands samsara. The only person who could do was Buddha. Nobody else. So Buddha understood what this samsara is all about. Except for him, nobody understood what the samsara is. So what Krishna says is, the only way you can come out of this Ashwatha tree is Ashwatham enam suviruda moolam asanga shastrena dhridena chitva. So this firmly rooted people tree, the samsara, it can be only be felled by strong acts of detachment. So without vairagya, there can be no removal. That means you can never get out of this. So Krishna in that 10th chapter, what we were looking at, he says, I am Ashwatha, because he will give you ignorance or he will give you knowledge. Both are possible. Any questions? What happened? You are in Ashwatha now by chance?
So,
So- Go ahead.
any tree is like that, right? Even banyan tree is also like that.
But
What
here
is
the
special
banyan
about
tree,
people?
no, the banyan tree leaf is different than people tree. Have you seen the people tree leaf? Why they
Yeah,
collect?
yeah.
Oh,
I suggest you go and collect one of it and see what happens.
It gives a very auspicious feel. It has got that edge. It comes like a, if you cut it like it's like a love symbol,
Yes.
and then top is, it's having that very lengthy edge,
I have seen. I browsed it and so
and I think once a year I was watching that tree daily basis for 1 year. I think I don't know which month. All leaves will fall down. Then again the fresh leaves. That time within that 1 month, it is amazing feeling below the tree.
Or another thing, what you can do, Lata, is you go near a people tree, take that leaf, observe it under the sun. You keep that leaf above and see. You see what happens.
Okay.
I will tell you the answer also. Like my wife already answered. So you'll see the net. That's the only tree which has net, or leaf which has net.
Yes, correct.
And it nets everything. It looks so nice. So you will never get out of samsara because it's so nice. So we are in net. Simple. So Krishna says, one who understands Ashwatha will get released. So this is the practice of 15th chapter Purushottama Yoga.
This is the only tree is having maximum life, like 3-4
Yes.
generations.
Yes, this is the tree which has the longest one. Once this tree grows, there is no way it can end. And it is another funny feature of this tree is that it requires very less water.
It grows anywhere actually.
Yeah, it grows anywhere, including cement.
Yeah, including cement. Yeah, it can push walls. Inside walls, it can come, and in cracks above the terrace, I have seen. Meaning in
Yes.
the terrace where there is no access to ground, from the cracks, I have seen it grow.
Yes.
So, ಇದು flyover. Many flyovers also have it. Actually.
Yeah. You can see people tree growing everywhere. In fact,
But this is not a tree which sheds leaves in the fall, I mean the autumn and all. It is a perennial tree actually, right?
no, it will shed, but not really in terms of too many leaves falling. But when it falls,
No, I'm saying any leaves will fall, but not that the tree will become completely bald. And
no,
then
it doesn't. It
completely
doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't. So you have to cut this tree by detachment. So how do I detach it? Which we already covered, but it is good to cover. So this is where Shankaracharya Viveka Chudamani comes into good use. So you should have that sadhana jatustaya. Viveka, Vairagya, Shat Sampatti and Mumukshatva. So Vairagya is the sharp axe cutting edge. Shad Sampatti is the material, that is, you will use steel and wood which will hold that axe. Viveka is that sharpness. If you just put your hand, it will cut. So that is the pure intellect. That is subtle intellect, and it wields that axe. And Mumukshatva is the firm grip. So you will put a rubber grip on that so that you can hold it and hit it. So these four have to be there. The material are Shama, Dama, Uparati, Titiksha, Shraddha, Samadhana. These are the 6. That's the material. Then you can cut. Once cut, it will never grow. That's the beauty of this tree. So you have made it like a stump and there is no more growth. So Raga, Dvesha, Moha is completely removed, which is the cause of this tree to exist. Any questions or shall I continue next?
We can continue.
Okay, now before we continue, I want you to do something on this. The first one he talks about Atma. So can you consider yourself to be consciousness, not as Bhatt or Lata or whatever it is? No name. Like Padma Shri, she might be something as a role. Then she has a husband, she has a son and daughter-in-law and all that. Just consciousness. Can you just consider yourself as consciousness? When I say consciousness, consciousness as in heat. Can you consider that? Then only the remaining thing will be easy to understand. Tough, easy. There's no answer.
Yeah, you're trying.
Now thinking is possible, but observing it takes time.
Yeah, you can take 5 minutes if you want. I have no problem. But without that, you will never understand this whole chapter itself.
You said consciousness as in heat.
Yeah, heat. Just heat. If you hold below the nose, you will feel heat. If you touch your hand, there's a heat and warmth, right? Let us use the word warmth. Everything is warming. See, the nature law is from that we covered on the thermodynamic first law. Heat gets dissipated, right? The objective is to dissipate energy. It will take another form, but it will dissipate. So the heat gets dissipated all the time. If you look at our breath in breath is cold, which is going, and out breath is hot. So heat is getting dissipated. And if you look at tea or coffee or food or whatever, the heat get dissipated. So entropy is a process of changing of this heat. It keeps on going away. So you need to consider consciousness equals heat or warmth or whatever you want to call that. And that is what it is for this discussion or understanding.
This is very easy to understand because the presence of that warmth or that heat is the one which distinguishes between a dead and a live thing. Even a leaf, when you're touching a very good plastic leaf, meaning an artificial leaf, and the real leaf, though by looks they look the same, once you touch it, you can easily make out the difference between it is that factor of heat that is there even in the leaves that makes the difference.
Correct.
Is what I feel.
Yes.
And the very fact that, okay, the moment the consciousness or that energy has left the body, it starts to become cold.
Yes. So consciousness equals heat. can you consider for me to continue?
Yes.
Okay, now if you consider, you have to feel it, meaning you can touch your part of the body, you can feel the warmth or the heat. And you look at the breath, heat is going away. That clearly shows that you are dying or aging, whatever you want to put it. This is the
Yeah.
yeah, Lata.
So yeah, I can feel the warmth all over my body.
Yes. And if you really see, the thermodynamic third law would be that all atoms, what is there, is held in a particular way because of the heat. So now if you look at your chair or wherever you sit, you get up, and if you touch that part, it is hot, meaning it will be warm. The chair was cold, but you sat, so it became warm. So it shows that the heat is getting dissipated. So it is on entropy.
Yes. See, in this process, when we consume food, it is, for example, cold. But during the digestion process, it gives heat.
Correct.
Through that Jataragni, burns and gives heat.
Yes.
That heat is there and all over the body. Okay,
Yes.
that means while coming in the food, there was no consciousness, right?
No.
It is only this food has acquired the consciousness, converted into our body, and body is warm.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, but if you consider sun is heat. That is also a consciousness.
Yes.
No, the heat is consciousness. Sun is not consciousness.
The power behind sun is consciousness.
Yes.
Yeah. See, we are able to get the feel of that heat in the sun. Okay. Now, assuming that now electricity is flowing through wires, conductor. Now it is with the zero resistance. When it is flowing through that, we are not able to get any heat. But other end, if you have a transformer, wherever the energy conversion happens, there you can feel that heat. What is that called?
Let us not go so further, but let us stay with what the heat you can feel right now. Otherwise, it becomes conceptual.
Okay.
Let us leave that aside for time being. Otherwise,
no, I am trying to connect this one in my question. Is it that energy itself is a consciousness, or
energy itself is conscious? Energy itself is consciousness, and its property is heat.
Yes, that is right. That's right. So wherever I see heat, I can also consider there is some consciousness in that.
Yes.
Heat or cold, whatever. Yeah, change.
The changeover is what the Prakriti is all about.
Yeah, got it. That I got it. So energy is consciousness. That is the final ultimate truth.
Yes.
And energy in the form of this body is called, yes, that human being.
Yes. Energy shown like this is human.
Mm-hmm.
Let's take it that way. But anyway, that will become conceptual. So let us first stick to this heat. Okay? Done?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Now,
perfect. Throat.
Okay. Now if you take the first one, he says, Aham Atma Gudakesha. So wherever heat exists as life, that being will say, I exist, right? That's what he's saying. And he says, where I am existing. Sarva Bhutasya Sthitaha. Seated in the heart of all beings. So if a heart attack happens, the person goes away, right?
Yes.
That is clear. Aham adi cha madhyam cha bhutanam antaha eva cha. So I am the beginning. That heat is the beginning, right? Entry into the womb is through heat, correct? Yes.
Correct.
Okay. The sexual intercourse, there is heat generated. So the sperm comes out, it will get into the vagina and everything else happen. So that's the beginning. Middle, the growth which is happening from the first day of the cycle to the 9.5 months of that cycle is the madhya, and also the growth from then onwards till whatever age we are today, and then the antya. So in all of these the heat is dissipating. Got it?
Yeah.
Clear? So that energy is me, consciousness. Done. Shall I continue next? Or you want to think it over?
So, throughout that heat is called consciousness.
Yes. So all along the heat exists as consciousness, and when we look from conscious, what are we doing? We are getting heated up, basically.
Yes.
So without that heat, like what Padma Shri explained, that between an artificial leaf and a real leaf, or a person and a dead person, the heat is the one which changes, or which really marks the differentiation between somebody is alive or somebody is dead.
The assumption here is heat is a consciousness, or within the heat there is consciousness.
No, let us not confuse ourselves presently. Okay. Consider, just like let x equal something, right? So I have come to that. Otherwise, that is not really like that, but we have to arrive at somewhere.
Understood. Yes, understood. Yeah.
Okay, so let's call like Om, let's call God equals Om. So that is how we start. They will think that let heat be consciousness or Brahman. Actually speaking, Brahman is the heat provider. It's not by itself heat. That is the super class of that is Brahman. The subclass is heat. If I were to use a software way of doing. Fine?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay,
Yep.
I'll continue the second one. Adityam aham Vishnu Jyotisham Ravihi Anshuman Marichihi Marutam Asmi Nakshatranam aham Shashi. In all of this there is heat. If you really see. Aditya means sun. The brightest of Aditya is Vishnu. So in the Vishnu Purana, it starts with Vishnu as the first sun. Vishnu means Vishwa plus Anu. Anu means atom. Any atomic fusion creates highest energy. Agree with me?
Yeah.
So for any nuclear reactor or nuclear thing to work, you require fusion. So when you put two atoms and fuse it, it creates tremendous energy. And Vishnu is the purest form of energy. So out of the 12 Adityas, he is the Vishnu.
Why is it called as Aditya?
Shining.
Only because of the shine.
Yes. Luster, basically. In English, if I were to put it, is luster. So you have 12 in the Chandogya Upanishad. So Vishnu, Aryaman, Sarka, Twastir, Varuna, Dhuti, Bhaga, Savitir, Vivasvat, Amsha, Mitra, Pushan. These are the 12 Adityas as per Chandogya Upanishad.
So what is this 12 suns mean? Is it 12 different kinds of energies, or
12 different, that is one Brahman expressing its energy in 12 different forms. which you will see in meditation.
Okay.
That's the whole idea. So if I am doing this Surya Namaskar, let us say, then I'll start with Om Mitraya Namaha. So the first one. So I'll do the Tadasana. Then I do the Urdhva Hastasana, Om Rave Namaha. Then the third asana, Pada Hastasana, that I am putting Om Surya Namaha, Ashva Sanchalanasana, that is Om Bhanave Namaha. Parvatasana, when I do, I say Om Khagaya Namaha. Ashtanga Namaskara, then Om Pushne Namaha. Bhujangasana, Om Hiranya Garbhaya Namaha. Parvatasana, Om Mariche Namaha. Ashva Sanchalasana, again I am saying Om Adityaya Namaha. Padhastasana, again I am coming back to it. So Om Savitre Namaha. Urdhva Hastasana, Om Arkaya Namaha. Tadasana back. So Om Bhaskaraya Namaha. So these are the 12. Okay. Now this 12 and the Vishnu Purana 12 meet. If I were to watch the breath, meaning if I create a Ujjayi Pranayama when I am doing these 12 sun salutations, that is Surya Namaskara, if I do it in 12 times, 12 of these 12 times, then by the end, if I were to sit down, I can see 12 Surya or Aditya. This is the practice.
So the 12 sets of Surya Namaskara.
12 numbers of Surya Namaskar, that is 12, right? So it starts with the Tadasana, ends with Tadasana. Okay, that is 12.
Yeah.
This I have to do 12 times.
Yeah, that's 12 into 12.
12 into 12. So you will see 12 suns appearing in front of your eyes. It's not an imagination, you will really feel it. The amount of heat it generates in your body, you will start sweating like crazy, and when you sit down, you will really see that happening. And that is the reason the Hatha Yoga Pradipika was created. All the asanas are from Hatha Yoga Pradipika.
All the 12 will come together, or?
Yes, all the 12 you can see together. Just like if you take a telescope and if you look at the Saturn today, you will see 5 moons coming together along with Saturn. Something like that, you will see all 12 suns, 12 Adityas.
So, are you talking about that Mitraya, Ravaye, Surya, Manu?
Correct.
Those things?
Yes.
Up to Bhaskara.
Up to Bhaskara.
Yeah. In that our morning, that KBS house, na? They make us to do that 12 Surya Namaskaras by telling each name every time.
Correct.
So what is the meaning of that? Every time you will visualize one, and the end you will have all 12. Huh?
After 12 times, if you have done it correctly using Ujjayi Pranayama, then you will see 12 suns.
So what we see now, one sun, it has got 12 suns within that.
Yes. In that, the most luminous object is Vishnu. It is fusion of atoms. And it is scientific, but you can really test it out.
I have a call at 9:30. Can I?
Yes, in
Are you
fact,
going to continue till 10?
Yeah, me too have. Yeah.
no, we'll end at 9:30 only.
Oh,
I don't want any one of you to miss it, so we'll take it tomorrow. No issues. It's already 9:27. I had not even observed the time.
Even I had not observed. I was completely lost in what trying to understand this 12 Adityas.
Yes, so we will do one thing. We will take Aditya tomorrow. And there is something called as Aditya Hridayam. Have you heard about that?
Yeah. I used to chant for 1 year. Very powerful.
And it helps
Tato
you.
yuddha parishrantam, na?
Yes. And it really helps you.
It is very, very powerful. I felt it. Somebody asked me to chant, and 1 year it has given very, very positive phala. This is in 2000, 2010, 11, sometime around that. I think that also you have to explain, because that's a very powerful mantra.
Yes, that is correct. Okay, so let's meet then tomorrow with Aditya.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that is the reason I said this will take 3 months, because we are stuck in the second one itself.
Correct.
Okay, that's good. Good to be like that.
Yeah, it's good to be like that. Otherwise, simply you'd skim through it, no?
Yeah, I read through that day before yesterday purposefully. Let's see what happens.
Hmm.
Will anybody ask, why are you doing like this? Okay, anyway. See you tomorrow then.
Okay.
Yeah.
It will be interesting for me. Aditya Hrudayam.
Yes.
Thanks.
No problem.
Okay.
thank you.
Okay then. Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.